Well, is it going to happen again? That's what I want to talk about today. Another 9/11 type situation, and I think it will. So I'll talk about that. But the big news of today, the number one item, is that for all the Stonemonters and those who are going to be or want to be Stonemonters, if you don't know what that is, I'll tell you in a second. The date for the first, shall we call it annual? I don't know. It looks like we should. Integrative Preparedness / Stonemont Gathering has been set, and it is July 13 of this year, 2024. In case you're watching this in 2025, no, it was last year. It's going to be July 13th. It's going to be in Johnson County, Kansas. It looks like it's going to be quite a deal. I don't know. And I want to give first off credit. I want to shout out to a couple of people who kind of spurred me toward this, and that's Mike Hoskins and Sherry Fancoli, who gave me the idea of, hey, why don't we have a get-together of everyone who watches Integrative Preparedness and Stonemont readers and everything like that. It'd be great. And I'll be honest, I had thought about something like that, but it was going to be a winter get-together, and that's going to be a surprise that I'll tell you all about in the fall. But this is the first one, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool. I don't know. I've already heard from people that say they're coming from Tennessee and New York and Texas and Arizona, and I had no idea there was going to be this kind of interest, but apparently there is. I have no idea how many people will be there, but it's at a nice place. It's an outdoor venue with a nice shelter house, a nice huge fire pit, a lake close by for fishing. I'll get information up here in a few days on the Stonemont website, stonemont.us. Told my son to get that started. We'll have more information as far as close motels and camping and things like that. But man, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm in the process of designing a specific design, a special design for T-shirts and mugs only for those people who attend. And because I mean, if you don't come, why should you want one, right? And why should you have one? But yeah, I'm going to do that, and we'll have an ordering process out there. I'm going to keep the price down because I mean people are already paying money to get here, right? And this isn't an event to sell T-shirts and mugs. It's just an event to get together, and I want everybody to be able to buy what they want to at a decent price, so that they will have their memories and their cool mug and shirt for it. But the way we'll do it is we'll take orders at the event, and my son will be in charge of that, taking everybody's orders, and then we'll ship them out from here. And because also I won't know what size T-shirt, and we'll probably have a couple of different color options that you can choose, stuff like that. Okay, so I won't go into that. I'm going to be putting most of the all really of the information on the Patreon channel, because I don't want to put all the information out here for the whole world to see. It's simply, why should anybody who's not going to come care about that? And it is, when you have a private invite, you kind of make it private. And if a dollar kept anybody away from coming to the Patreon channel, well, I mean, if they're paying, if they're spending money and gas and things like that to come here, I can't imagine that. I know that a dollar wouldn't keep them away. So that's going to be a filter there, and all the information will be carried. I'll do reminders here on YouTube, but all the information will be on the Patreon channel. And man, I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. Okay, getting to the subject of the day. Oh, by the way, one more thing. I told you that YouTube had demonetized my entire channel. Well, I appealed, and they've remonetized. Good for YouTube, okay? I mean, good for YouTube. Good. Okay, whatever that was about, who knows? I'm not gonna think about it. I don't mess with little things. Kelly and I had a discussion last night. She says, "Why? It's almost like you are just so level all the time." She says, why don't you get irritated about little stuff? And I said, why get irritated about little stuff? There's too much positive things in the world to do. If you're actually involved in things, to get all wrapped up in little stuff. Little stuff is little stuff. Let it go. Okay? Take care of it. If you have to, ignore it if you don't, and live your life and do something positive. So that's what I do. That's what I would suggest you do. I hope you do. Okay, will it happen again? I believe it will. The reason that I believe it will, and I think a lot of you will agree with me on this. You could say, could it happen again? Certainly the answer to that is yes, it could. But I'm taking it a step farther and saying, will it happen again? Excuse me, let me take a sip. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'll tell you all who don't know what Stonemonters are in a few minutes, but let me take a sip out of my Stonemont mug. And for all the old timers who will get this joke, for all the new people who say, oh, how crude and how crass. How could he possibly do it? It's an old joke. Yeah, I think it will happen again. If you look, go back, and here's why I say this. Go back and look at 9/11. Why did it happen? Okay, what was the result of it? It started the GWAT, right? Global War on Terror. Did we win that war? Did we win that war? Be honest. Did we destroy a whole lot of people's lives? Physically, mentally, emotionally? Yeah, we did that. We did that, didn't we? Yeah. Did it solve anything? Well, I don't know. We were able to offload $82 billion worth of, was it billion or million? It doesn't matter. A whole lot of military equipment to our enemies. That was good. We did a lot of things along the way. We got the Patriot Act. Okay, it enabled us to have the Patriot Act and increase the surveillance of our every move and word, didn't it? Just what I'm doing right here, right? Yeah, so we got the Patriot Act, and we got all of our young people all stirred up. America, let's go fight whoever they tell us to fight because they're telling us who the bad guys are, and that's good enough for me. Boy. And I felt badly about that. I think I've mentioned this before. A lot of my students, this is back when I ran a number of martial arts clubs and taught martial arts in my gym. And just a whole lot of the young men who were in those up and joined. And many of them, those who were deployed over there, they came back with major problems. And I didn't want them to go, but, young men. So anyway, that's what they want. So the result was they stirred up the American spirit. They took their minds off some other things. They got the Patriot Act. They got increased surveillance on us, domestic surveillance. They turned what was a civilian police force into almost a standing army within our borders, a militarized police. They allowed the corporations and rich individuals to make billions of dollars through that so-called GWAT. And it's still going. It's still going. At the cost of what? And do we really think that they've told us the truth about what started all that? You know better than that, right? You look at the world we're in right now. How are they going to get out of this mess? How are they going to get out? I mean, the economy is crashing. Our border is open by design to bring everyone in who hates us. Now, some of those people are good people. I'm going to say that right now. A lot of those people I like better than lazy Native Americans. And by that, I don't mean Indians. I mean people who were born here. I don't call Indians Native Americans. That's PCBS. Any more than I call African Americans, okay? I call them black because the ones I know aren't from Africa. They're from America. I guess I could call them American Americans, right? Let's do away with the BS. I'm getting off. I talk more about this on the American Reversion channel. If you're not with me on the American Reversion channel, come on over. If you like politics, if you like talking about the culture and things like that, you'd like it over there. I try to stay away from that as much as possible here because I want to focus on the preparedness. So yes, for a whole number of reasons, we have the elections coming up. We've got a mess here, and here. I mean, it's like walking through somebody's backyard who doesn't clean up after their dog with a blindfold on, right? You're gonna step in it wherever you go, and that's the world they've created. And they need something to take everybody's mind off what they just stepped in. Okay, and so that's where the next, whatever it's going to be, I don't know. Is it going to be another pandemic? Is it going to be an economic crash? Is it going to be a grid down situation? Is it going to be war? Ding, 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 ding. What should you do? That's the question. What should you do? Well, as I say every time, and I just kind of wanted to set the table for this, to run. I'm going to run the table on this. I say it every time. Here's the problems. There's nothing you can do about the problems. There's nothing I can do about the problems. There is nothing that you and I collectively can do about these problems right now at this point. What we can do is protect ourselves. And that's what you need to do. And you protect yourself by separating yourself as much as you can to the greatest extent possible, the greatest extent you can from the system. Okay, that means you remove yourself from dependence on the system. Is this the same old song and dance? Yes, it is, because it is the song and dance that takes you to a position of individual safety and security away from the oppression of what's coming our way. You want to see the Patriot Act on steroids? It's coming. So your preparedness is your key to personal safety and security, not depending on those external systems, as I always say, over which you have little or no control. The extent to which you rely on those external systems is the extent to which they have control and power over you. And do you want them to have that power and control over you? No. I mean, every bit. As I read RFK Jr.'s, maybe I'll read it again here, because I think I read this on the American Reversion channel, but I'll share it with you all too. As RFK, who I find him as an interesting guy, but I'm not a supporter of his politically in any way. He said three things, and it's good to keep in mind. He said, keep these things in mind. He says, any power that government takes from the people, it will never return voluntarily. Number two, any power that government takes, it will ultimately abuse to the maximum extent possible. Number three, nobody ever complied their way out of totalitarianism. That's right. And then over there, I said the only thing we can do is resist. So your preparedness equals your independence. How independent you are, that's easy to answer. How prepared are you? Okay, the two equate. And as I say, the concept of integrative preparedness is to prepare in such a way that everything works together, synergistically, so that it not only prepares you to live well after whatever happens, but it improves the quality of your life now. And I explain that in great detail. Here's where, those of you who don't know what Stonemont is, I explain that in great detail in my books, the Stonemont series, if you're not familiar with these, or some people are. I'm always interested when I get a comment that says, I read all those books and I loved them. I didn't know you were the guy that wrote them. Yes, I am. I am the guy that wrote these. The Stonemont series, the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. You know what I had somebody say one time? They said, how do we know you really wrote those books? You had to hold them up to see what the titles. Yep, it's me. Let's see. There you go. See me? I was a little younger and prettier there. But yeah, these books, it's the Stonemont series, and in it, I call it the complete guide to preparing for surviving and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything. It's 6 novels in serial form. It follows a family that is kind of the core of the whole thing, who were prepared, and as a result of their preparedness, were able to continue living a good life, a high quality life after the collapse of everything, and also were able to help other people, and as a result of that, start rebuilding communities that were worth living in. Communities that were structured according to what I think, and most of you think, are the proper foundational principles, the principles on which our families are based and our country was originally based, that we've gotten away from. Okay, where do you get them? And then you become a Stonemonter. That's what. And you can get the best place to get them is directly from me, but Amazon. Let me start with Amazon. You can get them through Amazon. They get them to you fairly quickly. Okay, and you can get them on Amazon in the paperback or Kindle or Audible. And people are loving the Audible. I know a lot of people like to listen to stories when they're driving or working, or a lot of people, older people, they don't read well anymore and they love listening to it. And it was just in the last few months that they were all put on Audible, and that is just great. I'm glad that. But anybody who likes to get them from me, I love that, because then I get to sign them for you and put a little note in them for you, and it really gives me a feeling of a relationship with you. I love my relationship with my readers, just like I do with my viewers here, and I love doing that. And the way that you get that is through the website, stonemont.us. All of those links are down below. The Patreon channel link is down below. The link to Amazon is down below. And the link to stonemont.us is down below. We'll have a whole page, by the way, on the website concerning the upcoming gathering. You can also order the mugs and t-shirts and everything. And we have if you're new to us, we have quite a Stonemont community across the country, across the world, really. And it's really grown something. It's really gratified me, and I enjoy it as so many people do. So, however you want to get them, I know you'll enjoy them, because people tell me they do. Some people have read through them 5 times and say they just love that world better than the world they live in now. So do I. And I'm almost finished with number 7. And they say they're still learning. After reading through them 4 times, they're still seeing stuff they missed the first part. So it's the complete guide of really preparing in such a way that you are separated for as much as can be from dependence on and the effects of the outside world. So anyway, I think it's coming. What shape it's going to take, I don't know. What would they do it exactly like the last 1911? Well, that would be a little fishy, right? People would catch on to that. But understand, these people are smart. They are very smart. They spend their lives thinking about this. While you and I spend our lives thinking about our families and our work and our garden and everything like this, they're thinking about this. They're thinking about how to get more control over you, how to destroy the parts of the world they don't like, like meat. And this is how they spend their time. And they are not dumb. They are not dumb. All these things that are happening, they are not by mistake. They are by design, and their design is working. And we kind of lag behind, because, like I say, this is not the central focus of our lives. We actually have lives. Okay. So anyway, be ready for that. Prepare for that. Separate yourself from dependence on outside resources as much as you can. Every step that you make towards that goal is going to be one more step towards your independence, self-sufficiency, resiliency, and freedom. So think about that. I'll have more information on the gathering. Come join us on the Patreon channel. You'll like it. You'll be glad you did, and that's where all the information is going to be. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Get out there and do something, because you do want to live well today, but you also want to live well tomorrow. All right. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.